it will also give a lot of clarity about that how things are going on, because the whole idea of coming here, talking to each one of you, is genuinely to give you that support from whatever I gained in my experience, so that it adds value to you further and you are more successful in whatever you're doing. So voluntarily, anybody who would like to can take the mic and share their experience who have attended this in the past. What have you worked on so far? So may not be that, it has done tremendously different things for you, but what has changed? What could you get a sense of it? Anything that you would like to share?
Harun, this is Himanshu.
Yeah, Himanshu, welcome.
Uh, so, see, basically, what I see for myself, I was able to define my bigger goals. Not like what happens in next 2 years or 3 years or my next goal, but it was more a larger goal in life that I was able to define, which helps because then you are able to kind of create your path, and you know that where you want to reach. So from that perspective, it really helped define that, and now I think things will follow as we move on.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds good, because the first step that is to set the goals, because uh, as I had mentioned even in the past, that 9 out of 10 people who have a very clear defined goal, they know where they are heading to, and people who don't write their goal, they don't know where they are heading, and eventually you will find that they land nowhere. So that is one area. The second area that I would like to add on what you just said is, a lot of time, a lot of people write a lot of goals, and they remain merely a wish statement, because we have seen a lot of examples, as I said, mentioned earlier. Uh, on January 1, you have a lot of stuff, people going into gymnasiums, and on the 15th or the 20th, you see people falling back. So this is just, or maybe weight reducing exercises that people try to do and how they come back. So the important thing is that today we will talk about in greater detail that what exactly happens that when people write goals and where they miss out and why they miss out, and what to do if you are missing out on this. Great, we'll talk on that. Anything else in this group? Anyone would like to share anything so far? I'm more than happy to interact by the time we have more people on board.
Hello.
Yes, Supriya.
Hi, I'm Supriyo. So the most finest thing what I have learned is that to set up a goal and start working on it. So it can be a short-term goal, and there would be a long-term goal as well. So five important resources also which we all should have, like our potential, our style, a personal balance, and our world and yourself, and how we can modify. And in today's scenario, the change management is very important because as it's a VUCA world, everything is changing so fast. So how we can grab the things and we can develop as time passes away. So that's what I've learned till date.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Supriyo, for giving your inputs. In fact, one of the very interesting things that actually helped me myself on working on some areas, which I'm going to share some pure secrets, because see, the whole purpose of talking to all of you and building this entire community is also that to see that you also taste that kind of a result, the kind of success that what it means to you, because at the end, if it meets your value system, that is what we discussed last time also. That is something that will give you a lot of satisfaction. That will give you a lot of fulfillment, uh, and something that you can cherish on. Because many a times when you are not able to achieve something, uh, particularly your value systems, when they are not met, you feel emptiness, you feel dissatisfaction, you have a loser feeling, even if you get a lot of things around you, because everything is related to your value system, and that is what we discussed last time. And today we will go a little more deeper about knowing about yourself. So having said that, Supriyo, you can put your speaker on mute. Let's move on, and let's understand that what all we have in this call today, and we will get a little more idea about it. So on your screen, that is just saying that. Now, between you and success, so I'm sure there's a weight that you can see on your screen. This is something that we'll figure it out. What is this thing that has tied up between us, and how we can really jump out of this and can really go into the next stage. Now, just for those people who have come for the first time, just a heads up that, okay, what is this all about? Why I'm doing all this? Why I'm doing this? Because I'm on a mission to help 1,000 people to make a shift from aspirational to inspirational leadership. The whole idea that has come to me because I've done it in the past, maybe a year back, where I was doing these webinars, and still I'm continuing this mission because I want to add value to more people. I added a lot of certifications, some new courses, so that I am now more equipped with whatever I have experienced on myself, because the first pill is what you have to take before you really start giving it and distributing it to others. So I did that, I experienced that, and I saw a huge change. So I thought, why not? I can pass it on to as many people as it can be. One of this medium, the other medium is going to colleges, going to corporates and meeting people and talking about these areas. So if you have to achieve this, the first condition that I ask is that everything begins with you first by making an innermost shift, which is a permanent shift. It is not just a shift for a momentary sake, but for a long-term sake. And always I ask this question is, do you want to change? Do you have that inner desire to change yourself, to bring yourself to the next level? Because the reason is that, as I have mentioned in the past, that a lot of people want to get a lot of things, but they don't know what exactly they are looking at. And that is where the major issue is that happens. So I request people who are joining in can please, because that disturbs the whole chorus, I request to please put your video off, please put your mute buttons off. Okay, I'll just do it from here. So this is the first reason that I started doing this, and now let's see how it goes on. Now, I shared last time about my own value system. This is the number one value that I look at freedom, because I really enjoy freedom. I'm sure all of us look forward for freedom, because in the end that you want to free yourself with many things, what happens externally and what happens internally to you. So how you can create that freedom system for yourself. Number two is challenge, because a lot of time I feel that if I'm not challenged, I'm not feeling motivated. I don't feel fulfilled. So this is something that I continuously look to challenge my mind, my body, my internal thinking system, because that gives me a lot of boost to do new things. And I try and believe that this is my next value system. Acceptance. Now, acceptance means that not about others, that how they look at you. The first and foremost is how you are accepting yourself. Because if you accept yourself, automatically you will find that people will start accepting you as you are. Now, this is a value that I always look for, and I strive for that, whether I'm thin, whether I'm thick, whether I'm short, whether I'm tall, whether I'm fair, whether I'm black, whether I think. So how I can accept myself as I am. That is something that always is a quest that I look forward, and the more I do it, the more confident I become, because my value system is allowing me. Security, because this is the next value that I look out. Money gives you a lot of security. Confidence gives you a lot of security. So I look out for all those things that gives me security. And if I can really make it out, it really helps a lot. Just a second. I think my video was off, so probably that may be the reason that you may not be able to see it. Okay, Supriyo wanted to know about acceptance again. Okay, acceptance is something related to me internally, because a lot of time, if I really have to spend a little more time on this, the idea about acceptance is that many a times people they don't love themselves. So in a way, are you friend to yourself, or are you a person who criticizes yourself? Now that is very important, because if you are not friend to yourself, you are not doing good. So that means you need to accept as you are. I humbly request somebody, because I need to really, it's like somebody has to put some on mute, because I'm seeing a lot of echo on my voice itself. Jishan Ali, you have to be on mute. Thanks. So, so the idea I was saying, that acceptance is all about how you look at yourself. So once you accept yourself as you are, automatically you will see that people will start accepting you. So many a times you will find that people are that you don't like somebody, or you feel that they don't like you. I mean, this is all your own perception, because how you accept yourself uh, will make others people also start believing in you, that yes, you are there. So today we will get some deeper into it, and you will get a little more idea on this. I hope till this time it is fine. Uh, the next is integrity. I think this is something very core to all of us, that even if nobody is watching, I'm doing things what I value most. And integrity is something that is what is tested when nobody is watching you. So it is something that brings trust to you, your family, your people, your boss, your colleagues, and everyone around you. Because if you lose integrity, as we say, that you lose everything. So these are my value systems that I look for in whatever I do. Even whatever I'm doing right now, this webinar, this program on this night, it is giving me a lot of things based on my values system that I have built, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction. Now I want to get into something, one exercise. So I hope this exercise will help you to open a lot of things, because as I said in the morning, not in the morning, I just said something a while ago, that a lot of people write goals, and they are just wishful statements. So all of you are ready to do this small exercise, and will take another 5 minutes, and you can use your pen, paper, uh, and start doing it. So the question is that, a lot of people come to me, and when they talk to me about coaching, one of the most important questions that I ask them in my coaching practice is, first thing I ask them, what are your goals? Now, when I ask these questions, so they come with a list of whatever they want to achieve, whatever it may be. It may be a house, it may be promotion, it may be money, it may be retirement plans, it can be anything that is, I mean, dear to them as a goal that they have. So I'm sure you also have some goals. So in last program, we did some activity, and I assume that you have few goals already clear to you. And if not, take some 60 seconds, think about it. What do you want to achieve? Because if you have a clarity about your goal, uh, this exercise will be of great use to you. And as I have mentioned even earlier, people who are attending these webinars right from the beginning, they will be able to connect what I'm saying. So don't miss any webinar, because these are like very interconnected to what we are talking and doing. So as I said that, when people come to me, they talk about when I ask them, what are your goals? So they come with a list of statements. So I assume you also have made your goals very clearly, whether it is short term, whether it is long term, it can be anything. So because it's your goal, it may be a wish. It may be that you want to buy a car in 2019, a luxury car, or it may be that you want to go for a trekking, or you want to take a break and you want to go to a foreign country, or you want to go to you want to go to US, anything for that matter. It may be anything. Now, once you write your goal, my question is that I ask people very often, how will you know that if you have achieved the goal, what would be the success factors? What would be the factors that will define failure? So how will you know that what factors will derive that, okay, if I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if I'll get these things on the process, I will be successful in achieving my goals. And if I don't get this, it shows that I'm not achieving my goals. I'm moving towards some failures. Because I'm sure if you go back into your past and look at the most biggest thing that you have achieved in your life, and I'm sure when you go back, and this is the best thing that I tell people, that go in the past, think about all the things that you have been successful. What exactly helped you to be successful? And I'm sure there are failures. So what are those factors where you could not achieve it? Maybe it is weight reduction. Maybe it is something that you wanted to do a course or a particular certification program that you wanted to do, or you wanted to put some money on an investment and you wanted to, look for some, I would say, a plan that you want to achieve. So anything for that matter, some things you might have achieved, some things you may not have achieved. And now you have a goal in front of you. So I want to ask you, and I want you to write down, your goal is in front of you. I want you to write down what are the things that will define your success, what are the things that will define your failures. I hope this is simple. If it is simple, if it is clear, just type yes on the chat box. That will give me an idea that yes, it is making sense to you. And parallelly, do write what success means to you, what failures means to you. If you have a question, please type it down. If you want to share your thoughts, just type it on your chat box. I will respond. Okay, so yes, so people are clear what they want, what they have to do in this small exercise. Because if you don't do this, what exactly will happen is you will miss out. Even if you have achieved your goal, you may not know. You may not know that you have already reached it, and you're still paddling hard, and you are not sure that you are already successful, or you are not able to achieve it, but you are not too sure, and you are on a pseudo feeling that you have already achieved something that you want. Because please understand, anything that you are taking in terms of your goals, it may be a house, it may be any materialistic thing or anything that you're talking about, eventually you will find that it will boil down to your values. Whether you are buying a home, you are whether looking at luxury, whether you are looking at safety, whether you're looking at security, you are actually buying values. So I'll give you some 60 seconds and just write down your success and failure factors when you write those goals. So if you are very clearly able to define, you will know what milestones you have to cover. Because now you know with those success factors, what are those milestones? Because those milestones, when you achieve, you will start measuring your success. You are measuring your goals. And if you are able to do that, so write a very tangible thing, that if I have to achieve this, this has to happen. This has to happen. This has to happen. They become something tangible that will give you, that you can measure. Because anything, if that can be measured, that can be achieved. Something that cannot be measured can only be a wishful thinking. So if you really want to achieve your goals, you need to very clearly define what success is, what failure is, what parameters are those, and these parameters are your checklist. Okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. This I could not do, this I could not do, whatever it may be. You will be able to understand that. So I would, so when I see people are writing certain big words, so write down measuring against your goal. So probably like you have mentioned, like dishonesty, integrity, these are values. Now, if you write very tangible thing, now if you want to achieve something in a period of 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 15 days, whatever it may be, write down very clearly what are those factors which are defining that moment that yes, I have reached that moment. So I'll give you an example that will give you some idea. Like for example, I wanted to reduce my weight. I think I shared this example in the past. I will repeat it again. I gained a lot of weight last year somewhere in December because I broke my ankle and I was bedridden. And when I was bedridden, actually I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of stuff. I read my coaching website. But at the same time, I was eating a lot, I was drinking a lot, and I was boozing a lot. And eventually, when I got up out of my bed after 15 days, I realized that I've gained a lot of weight. And it really pushed me a lot that, what has happened to me. Though I was a fit person, I was always looking out that, I cannot be like this. So something that within me, there was something that I came to know that now I have to work on it. So I made a goal. My weight was 81 or 82 kgs, 83 kgs precisely at that time on end of January. And I thought that, what should I do now? Because in the past also I tried many times. Maybe I could reduce 1, 2, 3 kgs, 5 kgs, but not beyond that. And I thought, it is the body structure, it is my metabolism, that is how, I can't go beyond it. And then you will get some sympathizers around you who will say, oh, please don't go for aggressive weight reduction because it will be really bad on you. Because later on it doesn't help in your health. So all these things were happening. But then I worked on this goal. As I said, I have eaten this pill before I'm sharing it with you. So I clearly, tangibly wrote, okay, that how will I do it? Okay, my goal would be that first I will reduce 5 kg. Now, if I have to reduce 5 kg, what all I have to do? So when I want to eat something which is very heavy in terms of food, what happens to me? There's a trigger that happens in your mind. You want to have a good feeling, and to have a good feeling, a feeling of happiness, you want to eat more. That is something happening to me. So I decided, okay, at this point of time, what will I do now if I really want to feel happy? Is it the food that is going to compensate, or it is something that is going to compensate? So when I know what is that is going to compensate, that was my success factors. And whenever I was eating the same food, whether I was drinking, that was taking me to the failure. So my list was very clear, and I was very clearly moving to that tangible goal. And that helped me. Today, my weight is 72 kgs. It happened. I didn't drink for maybe 4 months. No beer, no liquor, nothing. And in last 5 months, my entire daily schedule has totally changed. Now, like for example, I used to take my breakfast at 9:15, 9:30 in the morning because I have to reach at 9:30 to my office, which is just 10 minutes from my home. Now I do my breakfast at 7:30. Now I know the day I take 9:30 my breakfast, I know I'm moving towards failure, because I decided what will be these success factors that will help me to achieve my success. And over a period of time, it became a part of my life. And today, this is what I do every day. My dinners are mostly soups and salads. I don't eat chapati at all. I don't eat roti at all. And it is not that somebody has told me that this is the guide. I decided what are my success factors, because I felt that, eating chapatis, it adds a lot of weight. I eat more and I do this. I don't eat it at all. Earlier I can't even imagine that if I don't eat chapati, how will I survive? I can't. This is my food. I don't eat it at all. And it is not just I'm saying today. It's happening month after month, day after day, and I don't feel that I'm even regretting. So, friends, the whole idea I'm trying to tell you is very clearly define what are your success and what are your failures. And if you're able to do it, I can tell you nobody can stop you from achieving your goals. That is where I said in the beginning that when people write goals, they write visual statements. They don't write what are their factors of success and failures. So if you're able to do it, you will be able to find. So now I'm sure by this time you would have written that. So tell me if you're clear. Have you learned something? And does it make sense to you? Just type yes or even no, or you have any query, feel free to ask me. 10 seconds. Okay, wonderful, Sunil. I heard that you lost a lot of weight and you worked hard on it. So while you did that, I'm sure somewhere unconsciously you would be doing those areas. So the whole idea is that if you really want to achieve your goal, so you go to any motivational activity, any program in your organization, anywhere, people will say, okay, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What do you want to achieve? This is the inner factor that I'm telling you. If you start doing it, you will know what are the things that you really want to achieve in your life. Let's move on. Now, in spite of the fact that we know everything, in spite of the fact that a lot of things are clear to us, why aren't more of us still remain unsuccessful? Why aren't more of us successful or unsuccessful? Why are we not very successful? Any thoughts on that? So when we know everything, there is a, so the question is, just one sec. So the question is, what is the missing link in this information age? Don't you think that in today's scenario, you have Google, you have apps, you have got time management machines, you have got everything sitting on your hand, just a button press. In this information age, in spite of so much of data knowledge, why still people are not that very successful? Any thoughts on that? What is the most common ingredient to this? Let's see if you can figure it out. 30 seconds. Think. Why aren't more of us successful? Okay, great. I love to see your chat buttons. Whatever you want to share, feel free to do that. Just type it out. Okay, conviction, consistency. What else? Think. Not working on the factors and triggers for turning the thing. So why we are not working on those factors? Why there is no conviction? Why there is, or like Manika is saying, we give up easily on probably our first failure. So why do we give up? My question is why? Big why, WHY. Sunil is saying that more than planning, execution and follow. So why do we do more planning and then execution and follow? Why? Why do we procrastinate? Okay, Hassan is saying that we procrastinate things. So why? Simple question. Why? Why aren't more people successful? When you have every information, you type how to be successful on Google, you will get 200 things. There's so much written on this world about books. You go to libraries, you will find full of books. Writers are writing even today. What is that one thing that makes people, that is a missing link? And that missing link is, okay, lack of intention. Okay, no lack of intention. So why there is a lack of intention? My question is still why. If I don't get the answer of why, I'll be restless. So the one thing, okay, attitude. Okay, I just heard the word attitude. Okay, somewhere in the mid, we lose the interest, mindset. So why we lose the interest? Mindset. Why there is a mindset? Now there is something that let me add. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, I really respect your points, but I was just teasing those points up so that we go a little more deeper. Let's go deeper and find out what is that rock sitting beside that we are missing, because these are all a lot of symptoms, because the disease is somewhere deep inside. So what is that one particular area? That one particular area, single word is motivation. A lot of people are not able to achieve what they want to achieve. It's purely lack of motivation. This is the one single word, and that is the one missing link in this information age, that you have everything but motivation, because that is all internal. If you have motivation, you can set priorities. Why there is a lack of intention? Because you have lack of motivation. Why somewhere we lose interest? Because we lack motivation. So Anthony Robbins made a wonderful quote. You know, there are only people who are successful are just because of two factors. One is aspiration or desperation, and desperation. So aspiration and desperations are the two words that define whatever we are doing in terms of achieving our goal. You think about it, whether I'm aspire to achieve something or I'm desperate to achieve something. In both these things, the basic ingredient is motivation. Now I'm going to link something more deeper into it, values with risk and motivation. If your value system is not strong, you are not going to be motivated. You try as much as possible, you will not be motivated at all. If your value system is very strong, so I am sure you now know what is value system. Your value system is strong, your motivation to achieve those things would be very strong. Now, how to check this? Very simple. Again, go back into the past. Think about anything that you have achieved big in your life. Big. Something that you really cherish. If somebody asks you, okay, tell me what are your two significant achievements, and what comes to your mind is something big. Now, that particular big thing, now you connect that there is a value behind it, because that is the reason you desperately want it, because if you don't achieve it, your value satisfaction will never happen. And when you are not satisfied in your values, even if you achieve something, you don't really cherish it. You feel still empty. You feel worse. You don't feel good about yourself. So, okay. Now value system, Hassan, thank you. But now you are late. So that is what I request people to come and join early, because we talked a lot about value system. So we'll address it later, but it will still keep coming in our talks. So if your value system is strong, your motivation is strong. Now, I will be taking a separate session in the coming days about motivation, but I can give you one small hint. Now, there are two kinds of people. One is towards motivation and second is away from motivation. Now, towards motivation, people are those people, let's say, who want to achieve something, who get up in the morning because they know that there is something that they want to achieve. They don't need an alarm. They don't need a push. They just get up straight and they know that today is their task. They are energized. They are excited. They'll get up. They are ready for the day and they don't need any pump up. That is towards motivation, or I call it as towards gain. They want to achieve something. Now, there's a second variety of motivation. We call it as away from pain or away from motivation. Now, what is away from motivation? Now, these are those people who look at things from a perspective that, okay, I have no other option, but I have to do this. When they look at a situation as a problem with them. Like, for example, in my situation, when I was in wanted to reduce my weight, when I was in a situation when I got up, it was purely away from pain because I wanted to be away from what I have seen. There was a problem around me. There was a situation around me and I wanted to come out of it. It is not that I wanted to go and jog and I want to reduce weight because I have to do something great, but because I was in tremendous pain. A lot of time you will find that people who wants to go away from pain, they do tremendous things in their life because they don't want to see that pain. They want to come out of that pain. So the point is, why aren't more of us successful is because people remain stuck. What some of you have mentioned that, and I'm going to repeat it in my next slide, that people remain stuck. So either they are lazy or they are not clear about their motivation factors that drive their system. So I hope this is clear that what is the missing link? The missing link is motivation. Why people are not motivated? That is what we will find out in our next slide. But this is the core reason that even after writing their goals, even after clearly finding things, they are not motivated. That is why we see that, on the 1st of January, the parks are full with joggers and on 15th, they all go back. Motivation. On 31st on 30th or 25th of December, they are highly motivated to achieve their goals. And after 10th of January, their motivation falls down like parameter. So they don't know. So my thoughts about it. Is very simple, that you need to find out what is your motivation type. Are you away from motivation or towards your motivation? And there's a separate session that I have where I talk about that. What is your motivation drive? And once you know what is your motivation drive, and if you can figure it out, you will find your life becomes simpler. You will be able to achieve much more in your life than what you are achieving right now. And that is the success factors. So we'll see, first of all, let's see that, what are the factors that actually derail us? What are the factors that actually stop us from achieving what we really want to achieve? Now, if you look at why people remain stuck. Now, one of the questions, this question comes to my mind many times because this happens to even me as well. And I really figure it out every time I look at this slide. So you can make notes if you want, why people remain stuck. Number one, what is the issue? Number one issue is uncertainty. People are always worried about uncertainty. Ab kya hoga? Tomorrow what will happen? I don't know. Even I don't know tomorrow what will happen. So this is something that really makes people worry about, and they remain stuck in whatever they do. Uncertainty is killing a lot of many people than their own knowledge and then their own skills. So this is a worry problem, and that is where people remain stuck. Number two, why people remain stuck. Another very important area is people remain in the company of problem people. Now, what are problem people? You have a company of people who are always talking about, this is not possible. I have tried it. It has never happened. So if you are in a company of such people, your thought process would be like this. In fact, I'm going to do a video maybe tomorrow. And there's a gentleman called Ron, R-O-H-N. And he said a beautiful statement. And that beautiful statement is, you are an average of 5 persons the time that you spend with them. you become an average of 5% the time that you spend with them. What does it mean? That if you spend time with people who have a problem mindset, who have a mindset of always talking about difficulties, problem, you are going to be one of them. So now when I look back this statement and I look at my old days, and I'm sure your parents would have said, you know, choose a good company. If you are in a good company, you would be definitely at the right place. So this is what happens when you remain stuck, because you remain with people who are not positive. Number three, people are looking for shortcuts in this world and they want to avoid hard work. So let me tell you one very simple story. Now I struggle a lot with technology because I'm not a techno person. So bringing this Zoom video, using chats, creating some, you get messages on your Facebook messengers, writing content, everything was a big problem, because I'm not a person like this. I'm a person who comes from a sales background, who knows only going, meeting my objectives, coming back. You tell me if I have to be out for 24 hours in a day, I'll be more than happy. I've never done that. But then I realized that if you really want to be like this, you need to turn around yourself, you need to do it. And it was very difficult. And even still, it is not easy, because technology is something that really paralyzes me. Even before, just a while ago, when I was about to start this session today, all of a sudden the internet was not working. Exactly at 9 p.m., the circles were coming on the screen, and I was wondering, yeah, I have done everything. So understand that you really have to slog. Without that, nothing is going to come. There is nothing shortcut in this world. Number four, having unrealistic expectations. So when people write goals, they set unrealistic expectation. Again, I would say that there is nothing wrong in it. Even if you set higher expectation, if you want to challenge yourself, there's nothing wrong in it. But then, as I just mentioned, if you are able to clearly define what are those success factors, what are those areas where you define failures, you would realize that, whether it is an unrealistic expectation or it is stretchable, but yes, achievable. If you don't do that way, it will be very difficult. Number five, people have self-doubt. I heard long back, one of my boss used to say that if you don't do things on time, you start doubting yourself whether this is even right or wrong, whether am I doing the right things or not. So the more you procrastinate, a self-doubt start coming in. So another factor of people remaining stuck is they procrastinate, they delay things, and that delaying things creates self-doubt. So I'm sure, again, if you go back into your own history or your current thing, suppose you are planning to do something for quite some time and you are delaying it for some reason, something or the other that comes to your mind, and you delay it. Over a period of time, you will realize whether I should do it or I should not do it. You are always in a doubt. So think about it. Then some people why they remain stuck is they remain in constant pressure. Whenever you talk to them, they are always tense. They're always in a firefighting mode, as if they are the most busiest person on this earth and every pressure of this country is on their head. Now, because of this, they don't know what their real potential is, how to bring out their real source of energy from within, and they remain stuck. And they blame things around them. They blame politics, they blame government, they blame family members, they blame weather, they blame traffic, they blame everything around them because they are always under constant pressure. I was one of them. I'm still kind of trying to come out of it. But I have learned that, how to come out of it from a broke person to a successful person after I took my own pill. And last but not the least, as I said, lack of faith in self. Because when you have a self-doubt, you also develop lack of faith in self. I think this is something very, very dangerous, because if you are not having faith in yourself, this is something that you are probably getting into a direction. Now, some of you may say, how to build faith in yourself. I would say, before you ask me how to build faith in yourself, you should ask one question to yourself, why you should develop faith. If you are able to answer your why, you will be able to get your answer of how. If you keep searching about how, you are only talking about things on the surface. You are not talking things from the deep reason. What is the deep-seated reason why you want to do it? Like, for example, in the previous example, I was challenging all of you, why people are not successful. What is the deep reason behind it? So find out that why, and you will know the how of it to get how to be successful. Is this clear? These are the 7 pointers. I'm sure there are many more, but this is what I felt that if you want to achieve your goals, this comes in between. Some 1, 2, 3, or maybe all factors. So maybe you can tick these factors in your diary. Okay, what if I want to achieve my goals? What comes? Put a tick, put a tick, put a tick. And if it is 1 tick, 2 tick, 3 tick, 4 tick, 5 tick, or whatever, 7 ticks itself, find out that what is exactly you are going to do so that you are able to make an impact. Was this of some use? Did you learn something? Say yes if you really enjoyed it and you are going to take some actions on it. Thirty seconds. Wonderful. Great. So if you're able to do, if you're able to get some understanding out of it, please tick it out, because somewhere you are going to get a challenge today that I'm going to give you, and you need to work it out on this challenge when you go back and when we meet next, because I'm going to ask you the same thing, because I'm here to help you. I'm on a mission to help you. But for me helping you, it is first you need to change yourself. You need to bring that change within you. And if you do it, you will be able to bring that impact to yourself. Great. So let's move on to the next part, and let's understand something more. So what is the ingredient for success? If you really want to be successful, what are the key ingredients now? You have some clarity. If you really want to be successful, if you really want to be rich, if you really want to have that freedom, if you really want to have that security, what is that ingredient for success? Okay. To me, there are 2 important things: faith in yourself and readiness to learn. If you have these 2 important factors within you, a lot can happen in your life if you want to achieve anything that you want. Because as I said, if you don't have that readiness to learn and if you don't have faith in yourself, you will not be able to be successful. Now, a lot of time, the problem starts. So let me share with you, why I mentioned this. Particularly when you do something and you get and you become fail, or you see failure, you lose confidence. When you lose confidence, you don't take risk. You don't want to apply things because you know that you have already had risk and you don't want to do it. So what to do? Either you remain stuck, and a lot of time when people remain stuck, they become a broke person. They see they don't see possibilities. They see failures, everything around them, and they say that this person is going into a shell. So what to do in this situation? Because you can't take risk, because taking risk is you don't have confidence. You try doing new things. The best way is you try doing new things. When you try doing new things, again you need confidence. And how that confidence will come? By having faith in yourself. Now, what is the problem? The problem is that we all have resources within us. It is already within us, within you. God has gifted all of us those resources. But we don't know where these resources are. Number 2, we don't know how to utilize them. And what do? We go everywhere to find solutions. And again, there is nothing wrong. But we don't listen to our inner voice. Our inner voice also gives us a lot of messages. And those messages are your resources that are talking to you. As I said in the beginning, acceptance is how you talk to yourself. Do you criticize yourself every time when you are not able to achieve something, or you pep yourself up? If you're really criticizing yourself, then I'll give you a tip here itself. So what happens? Let's say that you meet a friend and you find that your friend, your son, daughter, your husband, your wife, your XYZ, anybody around you, and you find that person is broke. He has just come out of a setback, come out of just of a failure. What will you do to him? Tell me. Just type it out. Okay, let me ask you first. What will you do to him? Just use your chat button and just write it down. What will you do? If you have a person around you, if you have a friend, if you come across somebody who is absolutely broke, and he comes to you, what will you do? Think and type. What will you do? Okay, listen him out. Empathize. Okay, what else? Okay, you try to boost his confidence. Wonderful. Please keep making notes. Listen and encourage. I'm very happy. Okay, what else? What comes to your mind? What will you do? Okay, motivate. Yes, very right. So eventually, in common sense, if somebody comes to you, you are going to do all these things. You listen to him. You boost his confidence. You listen and encourage. You motivate that person. You try to give him a lot of confidence that okay, things have happened, but things exactly you need to do it to yourself before you do it to that person. And many a times we don't do it to ourselves. We do it to others, but we don't do it to ourselves. Now, if we do it to ourselves, you will be able to understand that, there is something already within you, that resources will start warming up, coming to you to help you out. But when we are broke, when we are not having that kind of a confidence, the challenge is that we forget that, what we already have, what God has already gifted us. So look into you. What are this? Okay, we'll address this, Rupak, your question. Try to understand why he failed. Now, when you understand why he failed, you still counsel him. You give him a lot of confidence. I'm only saying that do that for yourself also when you are broke, and that is called self-coaching. You coach yourself. What you are coaching to the other person, you coach yourself. That is what I said. I have taken this pill before I'm offering this to you. Okay. Now, what are our resources actually? What resources, as I said, that we need or we have with us? So this is the 30-day challenge that we are going to work. And what are the 5 important resources which we all have? One is you yourself. This is what we were talking about. Number 2 is your own potential. I'm repeating the same slide, but this is for the betterment of people who have come. Your own self, your own style, what kind of style that you have. Number 4, your personal balance. We are going to talk everything today. We are touching on yourself as well as a bit on your potential and your world. So these are your own resources. And if you know how to use those resources, not only you will be successful, not only you will be effective, but you will make a lot of people around you similar to who you are, because you will exhibit that kind of confidence, power that will be reflected in your eyes, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. This is what is going to make a difference if you know what your resources are and how to utilize your resources. Now, if you are clear about it, let's move on. Now I'm going to give you something important, another very important concept, which I shared sometime back on my Facebook video. But I thought that I will be sharing it because if we are talking about the ingredient for success, this needs to be talked about. And I'm sure it is going to help you a lot if you want to be effective, if you want to be successful. Now, this concept is very simple. If you really want to be successful, you need to have a lot of self-awareness. Have you heard this before? Self-awareness. So what is self-awareness? One question to the group. If you are attentive, if you are a part of this team, tell me, what is self-awareness as per you? Any thoughts? Because if you know what is self-awareness, the rest of the slide will become very simple and easy.
It's something about knowing yourself.
Yeah, but that is okay, self-awareness. So please use chat buttons. Please use chat buttons. I encourage people to use chat buttons because it doesn't distract others. Thank you so much. Okay, so I get SWOT analysis or SWOT analysis. Okay, Manika, well said. Knowing your strength and weakness. To understand, yes. So self-awareness simply means to understand, but it is very important. Yeah, Sunil very rightly said, SWOT analysis. What are your strengths and what are your weakness? Now, if you're able to understand what are your strengths and what are your weakness, you would be a person who knows where to use your strength and where to manage your weakness or work on your improvement area. Wonderful. If you are on this with me, it's really great. Now, let us understand a concept called Jory window, where we are talking about something like this. You see four quadrants in front of you. One is open, blind, hidden, and dark. Now, I repeated this in one of my videos, but I thought I'll share it again. It's very important. Now, on this first quadrant, when you're seeing that on the left-hand side, if my cursor is going, others aware and self-aware. Now, this is a person who is the person who is most effective. He is the person who is a person who has into the open category. Now, who are these persons? Who are typically these persons are? Now, these persons are those people who are known to others. People know about them in and out, and they themselves are also very much aware about themselves. So probably, people who are public figures, people who are like Ratan Tata, Ambani's, or people whom you will follow, Obama's, politicians, great philosophers. Why do we know them? Because they fall into this open category. Because they are the one who are open to others and they are very well aware of themselves. Now you think of all these people, you will put them in open. Now, what is unique about these open people? Now, these open people are open to public. They talk openly. They tell what their strengths are. They even share their weakness. Now, tomorrow, if you come to know that one of your favorite actor, politician, or philosopher has a small kind of a weakness like you have, you really feel, okay, he's like me only. He thinks like me. He also, so why that happens? Because that person has created that kind of charisma that he's so effective that he's open. So the more you are into this open category, the more you are effective, the more you are more you are aware about yourself. Now, what is the next one? The next one is when others are aware, but you are unaware of yourself. Now, this is called as a blind spot because you are not aware, but others are aware. What does it mean? That a successful person is the one who has a point of understanding feedback from others. If you are able to take feedback from others, you are the one who can improve yourself. But many a times when others give you feedback, when they are not able to take that feedback openly, they remain in a blind spot because they are not open to others. Because in this case, others are aware, but you are not aware. The third point is hidden, where others are unaware, but you are aware. So you know that what are you capable of, but others do not know about it. So which means that the more you tell about yourself to others, then only others will come to know about you. We'll talk a little more in this. And the last point is the dark spot, where neither you are aware about yourself, nor others are also aware about yourself. This is exactly your hidden potential. This is exactly where we call it as exploratory, exploratory orientation. Now, the more you work on this area, the more you work on your area which are dark, you will be able to find areas which are your hidden potential. So what I mean to say that people who are who are into this exploratory phase, they try to experiment new things. They try to take risk. They try to do new things that they have never done in their life. They experiment a lot. They are open to learn. They are open for criticism. They are open for any kind of feedback. So the more they are able to do it, the more they are able to explore themselves. So think about anything that you have done in the recent past. And if you have not done it, that means there is a lot of potential in you. You have not explored it yet. If you really want to explore your potential, you have to start doing new things, experimenting new things which you have never done before. So this is the quality of people who are open. They are always open because they are trying new things. When they're trying new things, they start telling to the world. Now you see Facebook or any social media platform. What do people do? What do they share? They share what they have learned. They are experimenting new things. So when they try something new, they try to share it on a social media. And they become open. When they become open, they become visible. When they become visible, others comes to know about themselves. So this is something that you need to keep experimenting it. This is something that will give you new learning in your life. The next is self-disclosure. Now, if you know what you are capable of, and if you are able to disclose about yourself, if you are able to tell things to others openly, if you go and tell that, what are you good at, what are you capable of, what are your strengths, what are the things, the more you tell that, the more you have that capability, others will understand that what are you good at, and that opens a new world for you. But people who remain hidden, they don't want to share that, they will remain hidden only. So maybe you are an expert writer, you are an expert thinker, you are very good in planning and organizing, and if you are not telling others, you are actually hiding it for yourself. So nobody in the world will come to know that you have this talent within you, and you miss out on this. The next part is receptivity of feedback. As I already mentioned, that if you have that ability of taking feedback, you know that what others know about you, you can improve yourself to a lot, and then you can move into the open direction. So this is something I want you to learn in your life, that if you want to be successful, if you want to be effective, this window should remind you what you need to explore in yourself. So I hope this is also well clear to all of you. So if there is any question, I'll be more than happy to answer. And if it is yes, that you know, just put your thumbs up, or you say, yes, I am clear now, or I'm clear. Okay, great. Happy to see that a lot of people got clarity. And okay, we'll answer certain things separately, but this is something that I want you to take some learning, apply what you have just learned. So what is important is that you may have still a lot of thoughts running around you, but I want you to focus on exactly what you have learned in this simple diagram. So the more you are able to explore yourself, you will know that you are full of potential. Now that brings me to my next slide, and that is your potential. So what potential means to you? Again, a question to the group. What potential? What is potential? So can we measure potential? Can I say, okay, this person has 10 potential, or this person has 5 potential? Or I'm sure you would have heard that, your company is saying, okay, we are promoting this person because this person has a lot of potential. Whereas I'm not promoting a particular person because this person doesn't have that potential. I'm sure you would have heard this many times. So what is potential? Can somebody throw some light on it, or just put it on a chat button? According to you, what is potential? Okay, wonderful. Capacity to turn the things favorable. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ability of a person to perform a job. Very good, Ashwini. Thanks for putting it up. Okay, one more comment and then we'll move into the whole talk. Okay, I didn't realize it's already 10. If it is okay, we can continue. I have 1 or 2 more slides. And if it is really taking too much of time, we can stop also. Okay, so let's come to this slide. We'll finish it up on time. I respect time when people come in, and I also respect time. It has to be closed on time. Okay, so what is potential? As rightly said by most of you, it is your ability to do things. But one of the very important area that I really want to highlight over here is, it is your capacity to learn and develop. Now, God has given us this ability by nature, that we all have the capacity to learn and develop ourselves. And as I said that, potential is something that you need to explore yourself every time you want to do something, because it grows as it is nourished. Now, when I say that potential means capacity to learn and develop, it also means that if something is done by someone, if something is possibly done, and if it can be described, if it can be written, it can be done by anybody else, or anyone else can do it. So if Sachin Tendulkar can play in a particular way, or if there is a particular way to do a business, and if I know, if I can describe it, and if I know how it can be done, even I can do it. So if I can do it, I may not become exactly like Sachin Tendulkar, but I know there are certain techniques I can move towards achieving that. So what does it mean? It means that we all have the potential to learn and develop ourselves. So that brings me to the next question in this group: how to develop potential. Now, this is one question I really want to ask you, because if you can answer this, or what we will do is we will build this question together: how to build or how to develop potential. So I'm sure a lot of you in this room want to develop their potential. They really want to explore themselves. So how will you develop your potential? Think and give me some thoughts. Because if you see somebody doing, so let's say that I know in my organization, if somebody is able to do, very high performance, and I also want to be like that, or I admire somebody in my life and I really want to be like that. Can I be like that? Yes, you can be. You have the potential because you have the innate ability to learn and develop yourself. So let me see, some comments have started coming in. Okay. Okay, be open to opportunities and then learn. Okay, by learning, thinking positive, improve, learning agility. Okay, I'll give you a formula today and I'll type it out as I speak. Okay, there's one more comment: self-awareness and learnability. Okay, now agility, wonderful. I really like these words. In literal meaning, I really like this word. So let's see that, what can help us to build our own potential. You are looking for a promotion within your company, you want to achieve something in your life that you are really aspiring for, that can help you to build your potential. The one thing, that first and very important thing that I'm going to write is wanting something enough to be your goal. So if you really want to develop your potential, you need to have that kind of want something enough to be your goal. As I said earlier also, if you really have that motivation, and if you have a very good clarity about your value system, and if you really want to achieve something, you need to have that desire, wanting something enough to be your goal. If you're able to do that, you will be able to work towards developing your potential. Number two, I think there is something which is very important, that is gathering information in small chunks. Now, if you want to, achieve something, you want to be somebody like that you really admire to be, or you want to achieve something, you need to really, first of all, gather information in small chunks, which means that you need to gather information so that you get a complete clarity about what you want to achieve. Like, for example, we did an exercise. What are those success factors? What are those factors that gives you failure? Number three, you need to really enjoy what you do. Okay, no, before that, I think very important is you need to measure your success. Now, if you cannot measure your success, how will you know that, where will you reach? So you need to measure your success. And that can happen through your internal mechanism or with the help of a coach or some external support that you want. You need to measure your success. You need to measure your milestones, that from your desired behavior, from your current behavior to a desired behavior that you really want to achieve. How will you know that you have traveled that distance? So you need to measure your success. And one more thing that I think that comes to my mind is, if you really want to achieve it, is you really need to make it rewarding and full of fun. So I'm sure you would have definitely heard and seen many times that people who are very good in their work, they don't take effort, rather they enjoy what they do. So many times I have seen that people, when they are not able to achieve their goals, they feel demotivated. They are not enjoying it. So for example, if you want to reduce your weight, and you see every third day you go to the weight machine and you see only half a kg has reduced, or it's not even that the needle is not moving below a particular point, you really feel frustrated. And you say that all the hard work that I've done has gone wrong. It is really not helping. And you start cursing yourself. Now, this is the time you are actually killing entire potential activity that you have decided on day one. So whether it is your promotion, the hard work that you're trying to build it, don't miss it. So you have to make it very rewarding and fulfilling. It has to give you a lot of fulfillment. So every time in my case, whatever I did, I really enjoyed it. There are many days, when I saw that things are not moving the way I wanted, but then I really maintained that calm, okay, because success and failures are a part of our journey and I really need to look at it. So the more you make it rewarding and fulfilling, it will be fun for you. It should be fun. It should not be cursing. If you do that, I can tell you, you will leave it within 15 days or maybe 5 days. So this is a formula that you can look out if you really want to develop your potential. So is this clear to you? Was it of some use? Can you try this? Or if you can say, I will take action. I will take action in developing my potential if I really want to achieve. So if you really want to achieve something, as I said in the first activity, you need to develop a goal. Now, if you are able to develop that goal, you would be able to achieve what you want to do. If you are still figuring out what your goal is, then take your time, because without knowing your goal, you will not be able to move. And even before that, you need to figure out your value system. Now, that brings to my last point, not the last point, the second last point. That is my second challenge that I'm going to give you today. Now, the challenge is that ask yourself, now you are very clear that you have a goal with you, right? You are very clear what are those success factors, what are those failure factors. Now I want to ask you, tell me what would need to happen to achieve this. So if you really want to achieve your goals, what would need to happen? What are those things that you will do that will help you to achieve your goal? Write that down clearly. If you don't have time right now, do it after this webinar. Do it today itself. Don't wait for tomorrow. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Let me finish this call. Let me do this. Don't do that. Do it tomorrow itself, but do that. And number two, what makes me think that I couldn't? What makes me think that I couldn't? Now, the more, because in our next sessions, we are going to go a little more deeper into your potential. But if you are not able to figure out these two important questions, rest of the sessions will still not make sense to you. It will just be at a surface level. It will not go to your deeper level, much deeper level. So you need to really first find out what would need to happen to do this and what makes me think that I couldn't. Write that down. Write that down. That why I can't achieve this. Write those 5 points. Write those points that what would happen. So if you're able to really figure out this, you will be able to move to the next level of your potential. And the last is, I normally promote this as my pet project, that is 5% challenge. Anybody knows what is 5% challenge? Yes, no, just you don't have to explain it. I'm going to take it. Just I want to know out of this group, how many people really know what is 5% challenge? Okay. So you don't know what is 5% challenge. Okay. No. Okay. So 5% challenge is that, as I said in my first webinar, I said very clearly, that there was a study that was done on 100 individuals. And at the age of 25, when it was asked to them that, what do you want to achieve in your life? All of them came together and said that they want to be successful. And then they were measured throughout the age of 65. That what did they do? What are the things that they achieved? And after they completed 65, the study was published, and that study said that out of 100 people, only one person was able to achieve the success goals that whatever he has mentioned. 4 of them became financially independent. Majority of them were still working, and rest 50% of them were broke people. Broke people means that those who were stuck, what I just told you. What does it mean? It clearly means that the success ratio is just 5%. Just 5%. Even if I ask this group, what do you want to achieve even after this webinar, or in your life you would say, yes, I want to be successful. I want to achieve something that I really wish to. But look at it, only 5% of the people will be able to achieve it. Now, I have created a 5% club. In that 5% club, I will be taking you more closer. There are different sessions, there are different programs. There are other coaches who would be a part of this program, who would be coming and sharing their experiences, which will help you to enlighten yourself how to be in that 5%. By the time you work on these challenges, and there is a guaranteed success that you will get, but there you will have not only challenges, you will also get a hand holding on how you can go into this 5%. So this is 5% challenge, that if you want to be in that club, you need to really first win on these challenges that I'm giving you. And once you're able to overcome those challenges, then you qualify for that 5%. So I hope I bring an end to this session, because it's already, I think, 10:15 by my watch. I hope you would have enjoyed it. You would have got some learning out of it. We will definitely meet next Tuesday. If you have any questions, if I have the answer, I'll definitely answer it now, or maybe in our next session. Or if you have some questions later on, while you register in your webinar next Tuesday, you can pose a question to me on my email that you get. I will try to answer it on the next webinar. I will inculcate all those questions together and I'll try to answer. Still, I can take 1 or 2 questions if you have. I wait for another 60 seconds. If I get it, great, or else we can depart. I get 1 buzz. Let's see. Okay, no question. Okay, wonderful. So thank you so much. And okay, Supriyo has, can you throw some light or rewarding? Is it self? Okay, now I have to take, a lot of questions are coming. So we will take, please put these questions. I will definitely answer all these questions in our next webinar. I really enjoyed talking to all of you. Really also see your time and your commitment to come over and be a part of this program. And the more you will be a part of this program, I promise you that I will bring a lot of value to it, because that's a commitment that I have for all of you. Thank you so much. And next Tuesday, same time, 9 p.m., we are all going to be here. And you can bring more people, add more value to more people. Thank you so much, and good night.